Okay, so this presentation is about colorism and its effects on the job market and how it affects especially black and other victims of who happen to go through colorism. Um, the study was done by Harvard, where about 50% of resumes with the same credentials were sent to different employers, and for both white and black. And the results were quite astonishing because among the resume sent, only it was found out that 10% of white are more likely to get the call back than blacks, and the rate is 0.10% more than that of blacks getting calls. With regards to that, if you compare the unemployment rate too as well, you see the blacks have 8.4% rate of unemployment, while white have 4.4%. You can see you got a 4% deficit between whites and black population. And although this has to do with racism, but now there's another emerging trend which is pretty much interesting. It talks about colorism. That's where colorism comes in, because you have people who have studies showing that people with lighter skins have more chances of getting a job than people with lighter skins. And because of that, blacks who feel like, okay, some jobs that they probably don't stand a chance of getting, because they feel like if they have to go compete with the white counterpart, they'll probably not get a job. And the study has proven that, because another study shows that about white resumes are more likely to get calls back than black resumes, even if blacks have 100% of good credentials with clean records. They're still not going to get calls back, or they will be even compared to a white or a lighter skinned person who has a criminal record and maybe even not qualified for the job. So because of that, most blacks don't even want to consider even trying some job that they consider to be a white domain. That's just one of it. Another study shows that hiring managers prefer to hire other races against people of color when it comes to black. Another study. This study was done by Harvard. Managers, it appears that managers who have white descent, Latino descent, and Asian descent prove to hire more white people or other people from different race than preferring to hire people of darker skins. The reason why, we don't really know, but we know that it has to do with something. We can guess, we can assume that it has to do with something of color, or maybe the negative connotations assigned to darker skinned people or black people. In terms of education, we also see there's schools that prefer to admit more white and other races than people with darker skins or blacks. A recent study from Duke University shows that claim that black students don't prefer to go for courses that are difficult, that require a lot of study time. And because of that, they always try to look for easy ways out and ignore those places and leave those courses for whites and other races. But sources claim that this study was not a legitimate study. It was just a study that was sponsored by groups of affirmative actions, people who are against affirmative actions, just to jeopardize and add more stigmatization to black people or people of dark skin, just to make sure that they don't get jobs that they deserve, or they don't get to schools that they want to go into. So in sum, we can see that although this has some relationship with race, but you can see that now the trend is slightly changing. It's not just race, since even in the black person with a fair complexion, it stands even more chance of getting a job than his fellow black with a darker complexion. So it tells you colorism still exists and still have a big impact on how people are treated and how people are discriminated against. That's the end of my presentation.